Women over 50 have a problem. Actually, you have two problems that are feeding each other like a vicious cycle. First, you're emotionally exhausted from decades of being everything to everyone, but somehow you're lonelier than ever. You can be surrounded by the people you've served your whole life and feel completely invisible. Second, the world is telling you you're becoming irrelevant, like your expertise, your wisdom, your experience suddenly don't matter because you're not 35 anymore. And here's the thing, these two problems are making each other worse. When you're exhausted, you can't fight for your relevance. When you feel irrelevant, the loneliness gets deeper. If you're watching this thinking, how does she know my life? Stay with me because what looks like your ending is actually your beginning. Let's talk about emotional exhaustion. Not just being tired, that's different. This is soul deep depletion. It's when you've poured out so much for so long that you don't even know what filling your own cup looks like anymore. Research shows that women carry 71% of the emotional labor in families. 71%. That's remembering birthdays, managing everyone's feelings, being the family therapist, the scheduler, the peacekeeper. And here's the kicker, emotional exhaustion creates a unique kind of loneliness. You can be surrounded by the people you love, the people you've served your entire life, and feel absolutely alone. Why? Because they know the role that you play, but do they know you? Do you even know you anymore? Psychologists call this extinguential isolation, when you've shape-shifted for everyone else's needs for so long that you've lost connection with your authentic self. I was talking to a friend recently, and actually, she could have been me. And she said, I feel like a ghost in my own life. I'm there, but nobody really sees me. And the worst part? She said that she is too tired to make them see her. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1 Kings 19, the prophet Elijah experiences this exact same thing. He's given everything, he's performed miracles, and then we find him under a tree, asking God to let him die. He's emotionally done. And what does God do? He doesn't shame him, he doesn't give him a pep talk. He lets him sleep, he feeds him, he meets him in the exhaustion. Psychology confirms this. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and spiritual bypassing won't fill it either. Your exhaustion is not a character flaw, it's actually a signal. Both the Bible and science agree on what it means, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now, layer on the fear of irrelevance. You're exhausted, you're lonely, and suddenly the world seems to be saying that you don't matter anymore. Your kids need you less, the workplace wants fresh perspectives, and social media is obsessed with youth. I felt this a few months ago when I was in a meeting and I realized everyone was just looking through me and not at me. 25 years of expertise, and I might as well have been wallpaper. Society has this unspoken rule that women become less valuable after 50. A study found that women over 50 feel invisible in public spaces 87% of the time. We have decades of wisdom, experience, and insight. We've navigated crises. We've raised humans, built careers, weathered storms, but somehow TikTok influencers are now the experts? And here's how these problems compound each other. When you're emotionally exhausted, you don't have energy to fight for your relevance. And feeling irrelevant deepens that inner loneliness because no one sees your value. Why would they see you? A woman in a small group said that she had spent 30 years becoming an expert in her field and 20 years raising kids, and now she's being told that she's outdated and her kids barely call. What was it all for? But what if I told you that this exhaustion and this feeling of irrelevance are actually preparing you for your most powerful season? And I'm not just making this up to make you feel better. The Bible, psychology, and anthropology can confirm it. Titus 2 calls us to teach younger women, not as an old lady kind of side project, but as a vital ministry. Paul knew what psychologists would prove later on, and that wisdom peaks after 50. Eric Erickson's research on human development shows that we're entering what he called the generative stage. We're designed to generate legacy, wisdom, and impact. And if we don't, we stagnate. That restlessness that you feel, it's your soul saying, I'm meant for more than just existing. And here's what blows my mind. Anthropologists studying human survival discovered that civilizations thrive specifically because of postmenopausal women. They call it the grandmother hypothesis. While younger women were having babies, older women were preserving knowledge, advising leaders, healing communities, and raising survival rates of grandchildren by 50%. That sounds pretty relevant to me. So you're not becoming irrelevant, you're becoming essential, just in a different way. And the exhaustion, it's just your body saying, that season is done, it's complete. And the feeling of invisibility, it's because culture is looking for producers when we've graduated to being generators. Science confirms what God always knew. Our design includes two acts. Act one was the doing years, raising kids, building careers, serving everyone. And then our act two, now that's our wisdom years. And this is where all of that experience transforms into generative power. But here's the catch. Erickson found that women who try to keep living in Act 1 during Act 2 became depressed and stagnant. The exhaustion is our soul's way of saying that it's time to shift gears. When I discovered this, the Bible, psychology, and anthropology all confirmed the same thing. It changed everything. It changed my whole outlook on where I am being over 50. I stopped trying to compete in Act 1 when I had already graduated to Act 2. Women over 50 aren't past their prime. We're entering our wisdom prime. Our exhaustion isn't a problem to fix, it's a signal to transition from Martha to Mary, from doing to being, from serving meals to serving wisdom. In the next video, we tackle the time trap, when panic about time running out meets the fear that you've missed your chance. But for now, I want you to disappoint someone. Say no to something that you'd usually say yes to. Start reclaiming your energy for Act 2. You know, I understand that it may be difficult to say no to someone who you've put on an automatic yes. So I want to pray for you really quickly. Father, in the name of Jesus, I pray that you will give my sister strength. Give her strength to know the things that you've called her to and the things that have just really passed her season and it's for someone else to do. Father, there are things that she needs to release and let go. Be the power that she needs in the name of Jesus. What I need for you to do right now is just comment below. Which hit you harder? Was it the exhaustion or the fear of irrelevance? I want to talk to you about it. Again, it's called the time trap. I'm going to see you in the next video. Please leave your comments and bye for now.